Hey everyone, and welcome to Hooked on Needles and Crafts. I'm Josie, and today we're going to be doing a snack knit kit that I got from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, I've got something really special for you. It's small, it should be quick. I'm throwing this in. It's a $3 knit kit from Five Below. From my understanding, there's other characters and things that you can knit. I think this is great because I love knitting. I don't get to do it much. I used to do it all the time. And it seems like my channel's just been a lot of crochet, so it's really nice to get this little change in here. It says easy fast knitting, perfect for beginners. We will find out. This is for ages 8 and up, and it contains one set, and we'll turn to the back for all the details. But we're doing water Melonie, and look how cute she is. So this is going to be really cute. I already can see that it comes with 2 needles. It's going to be coming with the yarn. Knit this adorable character. Alright, keep saying perfect for beginners. We're going to see if that's the case here. Happy knitting. Here's all the stuff that it comes with. The seeds, the eyes, the mouth, a needle, a sewing needle. These are 2 knitting needles, so when you watch my crochet videos and you hear me accidentally say needles instead of crochet hook, it's because I started crocheting, but I learned knitting down the road, and it's become my thing that I always do. So I'm more accustomed to knitting than I am crocheting, even though that was my first craft that I learned how to do. And then here are the beautiful bright colorful yarn that it comes with. Here it says 2 plastic needles or knitting needles, 3 colors of acrylic yarn, plastic yarn needle, 7 felt face and seed stickers. Oh, they're stickers, which is great, which means maybe we won't have to sew anything on. Polyester fiberfill stuffing, full color illustrated instructions. Okay. Ooh, and this was distributed in North America by Bright Stripes LLC and in Bloomfield. That's here in New Jersey. Interesting. And this must be a new kit. This was made in 2025. Alright. Let's empty the contents. We have this paper baggie here. And we have our pink yarn, light pink yarn, bright green yarn. What else? We have some paper instructions, and that's it for this container. Let's set this aside. Let's see what's in the paper bag. We've got a couple of cute knitting needles. Do they say what size this is? It probably won't say it. Yeah, I'm not seeing any kind of embossed anything. So maybe it'll tell us in the written instructions. We have our fiber fill, we have our plastic needle, we have our felt pieces. Yep, and we're going to stick this back into the paper bag. We don't want anything making the stuffing dirty, and we're going to put the felt in there too. Alright, so let's take a look at the instructions. Find full videos on brightstripes.co. Okay. Alright, table of contents. Very cute. Slip knot. Alright. To make it even easier to knit, we recommend wrapping the yarn into a ball before starting. Wah wah. Yeah, I won't do that. I'll just deal with the tangle. Casting on. Lefty, righty. Yeah, I probably should do a separate video for this, but I'm just gonna do, we'll see how I feel. I might do righty. I am lefty and righty, so we'll see. Knit stitch. It's kind of cute that they show you the left and right. Another knit stitch. I mean, the illustrations are looking a little weird to me, so we'll see how it goes. It's been a while. Cast off. Make water Melonie. Knit 2 rectangles. Alright. Oh shoot, there's origami involved. What in the madness? Alright. Okay. Oh, and that's the stinking thing here? Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. Oh. Alright, so I guess the instructions start here. We'll need... Alright. How do you know what color to use? Well, let's make water Melonie. Okay, so this last 2 sheets are actually the instructions. Holy guac. Alright, this is a little weird. Alright, so let's just skip all the hoopla here and let's do it my way. Oh, hopefully I don't screw this up. Okay, so I'm just going to take the outside yarn. I don't really feel like dealing with this. The quality of yarn is about the same that you would get in the Dollar Tree kits that I've been using, seems like. So don't expect much, but we'll see if they even give you enough. That was the other thing. So alright, so we're going to make a slip knot with a 22-inch tail and cast on 17 stitches. Now luckily, because I was looking for my tape measure, it comes with a ruler, so this is great. So I'm just going to measure off 22 inches. And I like that they say that. 15, 20, and then we're going to have 2. Alright, so we got about 22 inches here. Let me show you how to do a easy peasy lemon squeezy cast on. So we're going to take your pinky ring and thumb, and then where my index and middle finger are is where the 22-inch mark is. I'm just going to want to create like a loop with my right hand. So when you're holding this yarn apart, you want to create a loop. And you want to pull from this side because this is holding your 22 inches. So let's make pretend I didn't do that. If you want, you can wrap it around a bunch of times to make sure that you don't pull any more from the top because we've got 22 inches on this side. So we're going to take our 2 fingers here and we're going to start making a loop like this. Alright, so we've got this little like loop around these 2 fingers. Then what you can do is grab, I'm gonna now, let's do this one more time, pull, and we're going to make a little loop, you see, around your 2 fingers. I'm gonna grab this yarn in between these 2 fingers and I'm gonna slip it through that loop, and then you can tighten it, okay, by any means. Pulling. So now we have this loop, and if you know what, I don't like it, let's undo it. You can pull it out again because I'm going to show you one more time. We've got the 22-inch here. I'm going to take these 2 fingers, we're going to do a little loop, pull from down below, not from up top. Oh, this will come out, it's fine. Okay, let's do this again. Right here, make a loop, pull from below, make a loop here around these 2 fingers, then grab this yarn here, we're going to pull that through the loop. You can push with your thumb. Just get that loop through the loop around your fingers. When you pull it off your finger, tighten it up. Okay, so we have that, and then you have your 22 inches here. Okay, we can leave this loop big because we're going to slip in our 2 knitting needles in replace of your 2 fingers. We're just going to tighten this up like that. Okay, so now we have our cast on. Right, so righty. Okay, I'm going to do righty. Alright, so when you're doing righty, you want your feeder yarn to be on your right. If you are lefty, you'll have your feeder yarn to your left. Now to my left, though, I'm just going to put this 22 inches. I'll leave it aside. It said you needed a 22-inch tail, so I'm leaving that. You can even leave it down here, out of your way. But what we're going to do is you take your 2 knitting needles. You want to put the right side to the back and the front side, the left side to the front. So we're going to crisscross it like this. Okay. So it's going to look like an X, but you want the right side to the back. And what we're going to do is wrap this around your finger. Okay. Let me see. All right. So we're going to cast on 17 stitches. And how you do that is you have your, just to make sure, your right needle in the back, your left needle on the front. We're going to exit like this. So we're just anyway. All right. Now casting on, we're going to wrap this yarn from back to front around the right needle. So like this. Always, I guess, counterclockwise from back to front. And then what you want to do is we're going to slide this right needle down. And you see what it's doing here with the wrapped yarn that we did? You want to just, the idea is to take the yarn that we wrapped around from back to front, you want to pull it through this loop. So, slowly push down or pull down with your right hand the right needle, and you want to always keep contact with the other needle. You don't want to like leave a gap like this because then you can lose your yarn. You always want to maintain needle to needle contact. So when you put it together, hear that slap. That's why when you hear people knitting, you always hear this noise. That's the noise you want because it means that you're keeping contact with your needles. So we're going to keep pulling, keep contact, keep it touching. It's going to taper down to the point. You can put your finger here to hold it to keep your yarn on the left here from, on the right here from slipping out. But you want to push your point through this loop like that so it looks crazy, right? Don't worry, we're going to put this loop over this needle, the left needle. So how to do that? You take your left needle and hold this stitch back because it could slip off. You poke through that loop and you pick it up on the left side. Now you just want to go up and slip off the right needle like that. So now you have 2. Now let me do this again for you guys. We have 17 more. I will do this maybe, I've got 2 on here. Let's do 3 more with you guys so that you can get better acquainted with casting on a stitch. So now we're going to stick our right needle through the second loop here. You're going to try to get it, it's easy to get it down here where there's that little knot. So slip it down here, try to get that needle through like this, and just push it up. Okay, so this right hand is going to keep the yarn taut. Don't pull it too tight, because then you'll have a hard time getting this needle back in there. But you want to keep it tight because you want that needle to needle contact. Now when you're here, you always want to end up in this cross position before you cast on. What we're going to do again, we're going to go back to front around the right needle, and you want to slip this in between these two needles. You want to make it slip past it. So click it down right here. You see where it went from around here. Now I'm pushing it down here, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to slide this right needle, and we're going to push the point to push this yarn that we did back to front through that loop. And now it looks crazy and yucky, but we're going to slip this loop on over the left needle, and we're going to slip it off the right. So now we have 3. And this is kind of where it's easier to do, but it's really hard to explain. But I guess that's where the verbiage comes back here. I mean, they have it doing it different with your hands. You don't even deal with the other needle, it looks like. I mean, which is, you know, it's the same thing, kind of. A little finger action there. Lord have mercy. Alright, so we have 3. Let's do this again. So you're going to stick your needle under and through the last loop we put on the left needle. So like that. Make sure your right needle is behind the left one, and you stick it all the way up. We're going to go back to front and slip it down. Okay, so it looks like this. Then again, you can hold your needle at the tip here. We're going to slide this down and push the point through the loop so you can keep that yarn that we did back to front and push it through the loop as well. Then you can take your left needle and slip it through that loop and slide it off the right hook, the right needle altogether, and now you have 4. Okay, let's do this again. Slip your hook under and through the last loop we put on the left needle. We're going to go from we're going to go from back to front with the yarn and slide it down. Then we're going to push the right needle through that loop. You want to make sure you always maintain contact with your needles because we're pulling that loop out. And then we're going to slip it onto the left needle and slide it off the right hook. So now we have 5. You know what? And I don't know how you're doing so far, but I'm going to keep going at this pace so that you guys can catch up, because I know it's a little involved, but once you get the technique, you can cast these on so quick. So put your right needle through the last loop you put on your left needle. Okay, make sure you go all the way through into the X. Right needle behind your left needle. We're going to take the yarn, go back to front, and slide down like that. Then we're going to push our right needle through the left loop making sure we maintain contact. I'm showing this close up to you because you can see that every point I am keeping contact with both needles, and we're pulling that yarn through the loop. You can pull it out more so that you can slip it onto the left needle and slide it off the right needle. Alright, let's do this again. Take your right needle into and through the last loop we put on the left needle. Cross it, make your X. Take the yarn back and front, slide it down like this. Then we're going to make sure we keep contact with our needles. We're going to push the right one through the left loop, pulling that yarn right here through the loop. You can pull it out more, and we're going to slip that onto the left needle and slip it off the right needle. Okay, so we have 7 so far. Let's stick our right needle through the last loop that we just made. Make your X. Go from back to front and down like this. We're going to push the right needle through the left loop, keeping contact with the other needle, and we're going to pull that yarn through the loop. You can pull it out a little bit more so you can slide it onto the left needle and off the right needle. So now we have 8. I'll do this 2 more times with you guys, and then the 7 I'm going to do at my own pace. So stick the needle through the last loop that we made, make your X, go from back to forward and down like this, then push the right needle through the left loop, keeping contact with the other needle so that you can pull this yarn through that loop. You can stretch it out longer so you can slip the loop onto the left needle and off the right needle. Okay, so now we have 5, one more with you guys, and then I'll do 7 on my own. Stick your hook, now I'm saying hook instead of needle. Stick your right needle into the left loop that we just made, make your X, go from back to front and down like this, and then push your right needle through the left loop, keeping contact with the other needle to pull out that yarn. Make a bigger loop to slip onto the left needle and slip off the right needle. So now we have 10 stitches here. We're going to do 7 more, and so hopefully when you get to this point of knowing how to cast on your stitches, it should get easier and you should do faster. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we should have 17. I know the book has you doing like the finger way, and I can't remember. It was like something like this. Yeah. I mean, I guess that seems easier. Don't worry, I'm going to remove these. Well, I guess that's easier. I'm just used to doing it with the 2 needles. Well, so I have my 3, 5, 10, 15, 17. Let's say you didn't do it this way. You could just do it the way it says in the book. You basically kind of take your index finger, your thumb, and we're going to make a little loop, okay, like that, and slip it onto the hook. And you just keep doing that 17 times, obviously. But yeah, so index, thumb, make a little loop, slip it on. I mean, I'm not used to it, so it's not that fast, but it's kind of fast. So you get your index, you get your thumb, twist it to slip it onto your needle, and you'll do this till you get 17 of them. So if you look at this, I think I pierced the yarn there. So if you look at this compared to this, it's pretty much the same. So however you want to do it. I guess I'm just used to doing it this way than this way. But that was faster, I have to say. Alright, so I've got my 17 stitches. Okay, we're going to knit about 16 rows until you have a rectangle that is 4.25 inches by 4.25 inches and cast off. Alright, so the knit stitch, I just dropped my yarn. Hold on. Okay. So the knit stitch is fairly easy. Doing a knit stitch, you can do this without having to look at some point. So what we're going to do, you can spread out your stitches a little bit here. We're going to stick our hook. All right, stick our hook into the first stitch we have on here as if we were casting on again. So stick it through the loop. You want to make your X. Make sure the right needle is on is behind. And to do a knit stitch, we're going to go back and front, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pull the right needle through the left loop along with the yarn that we wrapped around it. Now in this case, instead of pulling it out and casting it on, we're just going to cast off this one loop off the left needle. So push it off, take it off, and there you go. That's your first knit stitch. Then you're going to stick your hook, your needle back into the next loop that we've got down here. We're going to go back and around, and we're going to push that through the loop on the left along with the yarn, and we're going to slip off the left needle. So slip this one off now. The way that you know you're doing this right is you had 17 stitches here. You want to see 17 stitches on this, on the right side. If you're missing a stitch or you have an extra stitch, it means you either missed one or you accidentally did one twice, and it happens. So again, put your right hook, right needle. I cannot do crochet and knit. All right, put your right needle through the left loop of the next stitch. We're going to go back to front and down, and we're going to slip the right needle through the left loop along with the yarn that we wrapped around it, and then we're going to slip off the loop off the left needle like that. So now we have 3 on this side. Let's do the fourth one. Stick your hook into the next loop, make your X. We're going to go back to front and down. We're going to push the needle through the loop along with the yarn that we wrapped around it. and then we're going to slip off the loop from the left needle. So now we have 4 on this side. Let's do 5. Stick your hook into the next loop. Make your X go from back to front, down. Push the right needle through the left loop along with the yarn that we wrapped around it, and then slip off the loop from the left needle, and now we have 5 on this side. Alright, I'm going to do 5 more with you, and then again I'll do the 7 on my own. So into the next loop, put in your right needle, make your X, go from back to front, down, push the right needle through the left loop along with the yarn we wrapped around it, then slip off the left loop off the left needle, and now we have 6, and here we have 11. All right, into the next loop, make your X, back to front and down, push the right needle through the left loop along with the yarn that we just wrapped around it, then pull the left loop off the left needle. All right, so now we have 7, into the next loop, back to front, down, push the right needle through the left loop along with the yarn we wrapped around it, and then slip off the loop off the left needle. So now we should have 8. All right, 2 more, into the next loop, back to front and down, push the right needle through the left loop, and then slide the left loop off the left needle. One more time, into the next loop, back to front and down, push the right needle through the left loop, and then slide the left loop off the left needle. So now we have 10, and I'm going to do the 7 left on this side. So 1, oop, hit the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so the last one that you slip off is off the left hook. Now, when you're ready, like I said, the object is to get all the stitches from the left hook onto your right hook. And once you've achieved that, then we can turn our project. So now your right needle becomes your left needle, and your left needle becomes your right needle. And this is the row that we did. And we just have to keep doing this back and forth until we reach 4 1/4 inches. So let's do this again. Stick your hook into the first loop, make your X, go back to front, down, push your right needle through the left loop with the yarn we wrapped around it, then slip the left loop off the left needle. And then we have 1 on this side. So you see what I'm doing now? We're pretty much repeating the same stitch over and over again. And it's kind of that simple. It's just getting the idea first. It takes a bit to understand and get, but essentially the knit stitch that we'll be doing for 4 1/4 inches tall is the same stitch over and over again. So again, you want to just maintain contact with your needles. It's the easiest way to keep your yarn from slipping off. And then as you get familiar with other projects, different needles, this pointing action is something that you don't want to do anymore because your finger will get bruised. You know, if you can imagine making a blanket or a scarf or any project that's big, if you keep doing this at it, over time it's like, stop it already. But anyway, I would finish that row real quick. I'm going to turn it again and we're going to start this next row. So if you need to go back to follow along to keep doing the same thing, please do so. There's also gear buttons in the corner for you to speed up or slow down the video. But it's pretty much it. And we have to make 2 of these. So I'm going to show in video, I guess, how to make the one, and then off camera I'm going to make the second one so that we save time on the video. But comment below, let me know if this is helpful. I do have other kits from Five Below. Really excited because again, they're knitting and not crocheting. But if there's any way I can possibly change something to make it more understandable, I can try doing that. This is my first how-to on a small knit kit. I do have a previous knitting video making a sweater for a bottle. That's a little bit more complicated. Oops. But yeah, so I guess for now you can just watch. But I guess I can do the rest in silence. So let me just finish this row up here, and then thereafter I'll mute the video. Hopefully you guys can follow along. The difference between knitting and crocheting is I think I can knit faster than I can crochet, so it might be hard to follow along after I do the step-by-step portion. But like I said, you can either slow down the video or just rewind if you need help each time you do a row. Alright, so I'm going to do the rest in silence. Alright, so I measured this out. This is about, it's almost about 425. It does say about 16 rows. So a row is, you see how it's creating this little zigzag? Alright, so when you get a full zigzag like this, that is considered a row. It means you went in one way and then we turned it and went back the other way. So you can count 16 from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then we have one way. I'm gonna cast off going the other way to complete our 16 rounds. Okay, so again, that'll take us about 4.25 inch, and I want to show you how to cast off. So it's kind of funny because the way they have it here is you have to knit 2 stitches on your empty needle. Use the tip of the working needle to grab the first loop you made and lift over the loop off the needle completely. Now knit 1 more stitch onto your needle so that there are 2 stitches again, and you keep doing that. So we're going to funnel 2 stitches at a time, overlapping the other till we get to the end. But when you cast off, it wants you to thread your tail through the last loop. And that's kind of nuts because it's on this side. So, that's iffy. Hold on. Alright, well, I think I have my own way of doing it, but it's telling you to knit 2 stitches, so we're just going to do that. I'm curious, because I've always done it a different way, but we're going to do it the way it says here. So we're going to knit 2 stitches onto the right needle. Okay. Now we're going to use the tip of the working needle to grab the first loop you made and lift over the other loop off completely. So this first one we made, we're going to pull it over the second loop we made and take it off completely, right? Then we're going to knit 1 more stitch onto the needle so that there's 2 stitches again. So knit that, and then we're going to pull this over completely. Okay, I see how that works. So keep knitting 1 and pulling over the one you just made. Keep knitting 1 and pull over the loop you just made. Alright, we're going to keep doing this until we reach the end. Okay. And then this is the last one. Okay. Then it says to cut at least 6 inches. I'm just guessing that. and then we have to thread it through that last stitch. I'm just going to yarn over and then take my working needle and pull the loop over that, yarn over, and slip it all the way out. And then we can tighten this up. So I've completed my first square. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 rows. And then you just have to make 2 of these. See how simple that is? I mean, I hope that was simple. Comment below, let me know if it was or not. Let me see how much time we have on our videos, and we'll see if we can move on to the next piece. If not, we're going to make a part 2. Alright, so I'm actually going to do the second square or rectangle off camera, and we're going to skedaddle over here to the next piece. We have 2 rows of pale pink, 4 rows of green, 2 rows of pale pink, 17 stitches. We have to have 22 inch tail, 22 inch tail, and cast on 17 stitches. This would actually be a good opportunity for me to do the cast on the other way. Okay, so let me just, I'm at a loss here. Okay, let's measure up our 22, 10, 15, 20, and we have 22. All right. So we have our 22. I'm going to wrap this around. Okay. We've got this. As I said before, taking 2 fingers here, we're going to make a little loop this way. And with our fingers, I'm going to pinch this right here and slip it through the loop. I'm going to make this knot a bit tight, and we're going to slip our needles through and tighten up that loop there. We want to make our X right needle on the back. Tail here we're going to put down here, and feeder yarn we're going to have on our right. And I'm going to actually slip on the stitches. I guess we don't need this needle in right now. I'm gonna do it the way they had it in the book. So you're gonna hold your yarn out like this. You're gonna stick your index finger up and your thumb down, and we're gonna make a little loop this way and just slip it onto the needle like that. And you're going to keep having your index here, thumb here, twist the loop, slip it onto your your needle, and pull. Alright, so we're going to keep doing this till we do 17 stitches onto your needle. So you can move this guy down. Again, index, thumb, twist it into a loop. Index, thumb, twist it to a loop. Index, thumb, twist it to a loop. Alright, let's see where we're at. We're at 3, 5, we're at 10. We have to do 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So just make sure you have 7 on here. So 5, 10, 15, 17. All right. So now we're just going to knit 2 rows of pale pink. So stick our needle into our first loop there. To make an X, needle in the back, back to front, pull that yarn through the loop, slip off, loop from the left needle, next one, slip in your right needle, and I guess when you do it that way you make them tighter, but anyway, make an X, back to front, push your right needle through the left loop and slip the left loop off the left needle. Alright, next, and just keep doing this until you reach the end. Okay. Yeah, so doing these definitely makes the stitching a little tighter, so as fast as it is, I'd rather do it the way that I did it the first time around. And I'm splitting the yarn too, which is something you want to avoid, especially knitting. Crocheting, you could possibly get away with it, but knitting, you can definitely snag yourself in a little bind if you split your yarn. Okay. Alright, so this is our first row. Alright, so essentially if we have to do 2 rows of pale pink, we're going to be doing 4 back and forth, you know, one way each. So this will be one way. And then when we head back, it's going to be row 2. But it seems like we have to switch colors, because we're going to be doing the green. Now I have my own way of doing this, but I don't wonder if it said anything about changing color. So let me complete these last 2. Oh, we have to go back though. Alright, let me just go back first then. But actually no, I'm curious. Real quick, let's just see how it says. Finish pull, repeat the whole row, and use. So I don't think it really tells you how to switch the colors. All right. Well, we'll see. Alright, we're gonna do the last, going back to make the 2 rows. Trying to untangle this yarn here. Alright, so now we have to switch to green. So, I guess I'm just gonna tie it. I think when we sew it all together, I'll figure out a way to hide it. Because this is the first one that I'm trying out. I'm not familiar with making characters with knitting. I've only done, you know, like scarves, runners, stuff like that. But I'm gonna do my cast on, so let me see, is there an easier way to do this? I guess we could just cast on, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna cut a little bit of this off because we're gonna be doing the green for now. When I have my little green tail, we're gonna stick the needle into the first stitch, right? Try to hold this down so you don't lose your stitch there. We're gonna tie it to the green later, but we're gonna go back to front like we always do with the green, pull it through, and slip off the left needle. Okay, and then we can continue on with the next stitches using the green. When I'm done with this row, we're going to tie the pink and the green together. It's kind of wanting to come out. Could probably tie it now if you wanted. Let's just do that now. Okay, I'm going to tie the green and the pink together. 2 loose knots so you don't lose your stitching. You can weave the ends or trim it off later. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with it later. But I have it tied so we can continue on with this. And we're doing 4 rows of this, so we're going to go do one side and the other, so we're going back and forth 8 times. So I'm going to go and do the rest in silence after this row here. Okay, I'm going to gather up some yarn too. Alright, as you saw, I did the 4 rows, cut the green yarn, tied the pink one on, and then we're going to continue doing 2 rows of the light pink. Okay, and this should be done fairly quickly. Okay, going back to do 1 row. And I'm kind of running out of the light pink, so I'm really hoping that the yarn makes it. Otherwise, I'm going to be tying it to the pink, the other pink yarn, and just using that. So we are finding already that they give you the bare minimum of material. So okay, now I just have to go back and forth 1 more time and then cast off, but we'll see if I have enough yarn to do that, because what's around my finger is pretty much it. And I already can tell I don't have enough to go back. So we are just going to tie the pink yarn to it. It's a little disappointing, but the fact that this is $3, yeah, no. The Dollar Tree does $1.25, and granted, you don't have a full piece of plastic, but they could have spared a little bit more of this light pink so that you can actually complete this. And then I don't even know if I'll have enough pink to make the second square, but I should be able to. We'll find out. But I'm going to split this up in a 2-part video. The part 2 is when we piece all these pieces together and see how I kind of already had to switch to the darker pink. Yeah. What can you do? Okay. And then we're going to cast off. So let's knit 2 stitches. 1, 2, and then we're going to lift the first stitch over the one we just made. Then we're going to knit a stitch, lift the last stitch over the stitch we just made, knit another stitch, lift this one over the last stitch we made, and we're going to keep following this until we remove all the stitches off of our needle. Okay. But I guess it'll be fine because the watermelon kind of has that variation of, you know, the red part turning into the white rind, into the green skin. So Shouldn't be too bad. Okay. And then it says the 6 inches. And then do the cast off. I mean the fasten off. Alright. Tighten this up. And we have our rind along with our first rectangle. So here you can, I'm just going to trim the pieces. You can weave them in if you want. I'm just going to trim them off. And then off camera, I'm going to do the second rectangle. And then when we do the part 2, we're going to sew everything together. So there you have it, you guys. Our first knitting project from Five Below. We already ran out of yarn they provided. Comment below, let me know what you think. Again, if there's anything I can tweak, this is the first knitting video, and it's easy for me to just do it as opposed to explain each step because I'm not used to that. I'm not a teacher, but I'm trying to help anyone that's having difficulty. But yeah, feel free, comment below. At any rate, thank you so much, you guys, for watching. This is Hooked on Needles and Crafts, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.